Hi everyone! Today on this episode of Clemoniak's Basics, let's talk about painting fire. And instead of just focusing on the color scheme, I want to talk about the logic behind painting it. So let me draw one. You can see we start with a white base followed by a gradient of darker colors. A classic fire starts with white, then yellow, orange and red. This gradient's logic works whatever your colors are. And either being green, pink or blue, white stays the base of it. I'm going to paint a candle, a flamethrower and a campfire for today's example. I'll paint this classic orange fire using the following paints and will be working with dry brushing. No airbrush today. But it's not the scheme that imports me today, but the logic of the fire gradient. Let's start with a common fire effect. The one for candle or torch, and the best to start with. So let's paint the candle's fire on this quite unusual model. I've already undercoated with a bright white. Let's build the gradient with first a dry brush of a deep yellow. For a common fire effect, you want to keep the earth of it white. Then let's dry brush a bright orange. You must try to have as much orange as you have yellow. And we'll finish the gradient with a bright red, but on a smaller scale than the previous colors. Little bonus, for a better effect, you can dry brush very little of black on top of the red, to show the flying ashes. And just like that, your fire is finished. Now let's talk about the dynamic fires. The paint and the logic is the same, except that instead of having a balance between the color, this time the white and the yellow take a bigger space. As you can see, the biggest part of the fire's guts is white and yellow, and only the end of it is orange and red, with almost no black on top. And now, for the calm fire effect, like this campfire, I'm sure you can guess what the logic is. In opposition to the dynamic fire, the main colors are now orange and red, and a little more of black on top of them. Like that, we can see the fire is slowly burning the wood, and not jumping out of a weapon or a spell. Well, with all of that, I think you got a nice foundation to paint fire. The point wasn't that much about the orange color scheme, but the logic behind how to apply your colors, whatever these may be. Well, if you enjoyed this Clemoniak's Basics, why not give it a like? Also, feel free to drop a comment under the video. And if you found this basics useful, subscribe for more. Well, thanks a lot for watching and I see you next time.